Let's go find some superpowers. Apparently, there's a bunch of superpowers over here. A bunch of supreme type beings. We gotta find them. Here's a little bit of the co-opting. The faith community. Faith communities. Who do we have? The Self-Realization Fellowship of Paramahansa Yogananda, a bastion of belief. We got Christian groups. The first Catholics in East Hollywood. And then we have Church of Scientology. They welcomed a new faith community into the fold. A faith community, huh? Is that what it is? Are they a faith community? Well, we know they're supposed to have superpowers. And today we're on a mission to find the superpowers. Maybe we'll get to see some levitation. That's what I want to see. Or maybe forget levitation. Why don't we go right to flight? Human flight. That should not be a big deal for a higher level OT who has total command of the messed universe. And what is this messed universe you speak of, Mr. Mismanage? Well, the messed universe is matter, energy, space, and time. And so Scientologists are totally in charge of all of that. So it's a beautiful thing. They are in command of the whole thing. And volunteer ministers. Hello. How do you become a volunteer minister? Excuse me, how do you become a volunteer minister? Just trying to get some information. See, we have to remember that Scientologists are the masters of communication. And they kind of like to show off their high communication skills any chance they get. It's a beautiful thing to show to the world.
Have a nice day.
You too. And so the superpowers of Scientology, well, one major superpower seems to ignore people.
Where you want to go?
No, that's security.
Security? Why would you need security? I just asked how to be a volunteer minister.
Excuse me.
That doesn't seem like a high security situation to me. The question is, has everybody here realized that they create their reactive mind, and have they stopped creating it? That's my main concern, because how are you going to have superpowers if you don't realize that you're the one that created your reactive mind, and you have the ability to just not do that anymore, and that makes you clear. And if you're clear, that's kind of the basis of attaining a lot of superpowers and being in control of the meshed universe, matter, energy, space, and time. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's telepathy. Okay. Well, it's so hard for me to do telepathy not being in the higher OT levels that, they're just going to have to dumb it down for me and use actual mouth sounds. If I were at their exalted level of spiritual development, I would be able to have telepathic communication with the volunteer ministers. And, that would be amazing. I don't know what telepathic communication feels like. It's probably a really amazing, tingly feeling in your brain. But, I wouldn't know because I'm not at that level of exaltation. And so, right, you're creating your own reactive mind. And you don't have to do that anymore. Did you know that you create your own reactive mind? It's an amazing creation, a reactive mind. There we go with more dauntless and defiant action. All it takes is somebody blabbing, talking to their phone, and people scatter. People don't know what to do. Yeah, we need to set timers, right? We need to see how long it takes. I mean, oftentimes all it takes is just a moment of them glancing at the fact that you are filming them and they are gone. Yeah, they didn't really escort her away. She was asking for help from security, and then they helped her to relocate to a safer location. And that's good because we're not looking to interbulate anybody with N theta. That would be suboptimal. Hey, what's the process of becoming a volunteer minister? I'm just asking a question. I don't have to leave. I'm on a public sidewalk. Wow, the masters of communication are not showing off their superpowers today. I believe that there's, it's probably a tricky maneuver. Like, pretend like you don't have superpowers in order to throw everybody off, right? Because, it's like that thing of Satan's greatest trick was making people think there's no such thing as Satan, right? And the superpowers, yeah. I mean, sometimes I tell them it's the clear cognition, but also I feel like even if they don't know it's the clear cognition, then they might just say it at some point and, save themselves a lot of money. We want to help them get up the bridge to their superpowers as quickly and efficiently as possible. But yeah, some of these people, they get a little touchy when you ask about their superpowers. I don't know why. If I had those kind of superpowers, I'd be bragging. I'd do a whole YouTube channel just bragging about my superpowers. If anybody would listen. Because, superpowers are an amazing thing to have. And I would like to have many, many, many. I just don't want the cult indoctrination. And, and I'm cheap. I gotta admit it, I'm cheap when it comes to even paying for superpowers, because there's always that fear you're going to get cheated. I know that wouldn't happen here, obviously. There's no way they would cheat you out of superpowers here. But, you know, I lived in New York a long time, so that skepticism just sunk in. And, you know, like they say with antisocial personalities, they lack trust. And especially they lack trust in betterment organizations dedicated to bringing betterment to the human race, organizations like Scientology. So they're giving out food again. Interestingly, with huge rains on the way, they are not using tents this time. That's kind of fascinating. You'd think they would want the tents even more. Not that I don't think it's going to rain today, but I guess starting tomorrow or something, it's going to get pretty intense. And you know how Californians freak out over any kind of precipitation. Leads to landslides and mudslides and avalanches, and you know, it's like anything but sunny weather with mild winds, anything but that, you know. And they are giving food away, yes. The thing is, the reason I ask about the volunteer ministers is that when I heard the woman Diane from Ventura talking about how she took these online classes, the drought's okay now, and it's definitely going to be even more okay after this weekend. So she took some online classes. She never attended any Scientology anything. And then they said, oh, take 3 more classes and you can be a volunteer minister. So they were trying to kind of make her a Scientologist without her even going into Scientology. And they started sending her emails as if she was a Scientologist, inviting her to events, even the New Year's event, which is crazy. You know, the big David Miscavige Shrine Auditorium event. They invited her to that, and she'd never even set foot in a Scientology org. So the thing is, these volunteer ministers, they might not even be Scientologists. Right, so anybody can do it, right. So that means they might not be Scientologists. They might not be volunteers either. I could imagine that some of them could be paid. I mean, not that Scientology would lie about anything like that, but, you know, is it possible that they pay some people? I don't know. I don't know why they would need to when they have all these slaves in the Sea Org, you know, why would they? But, you know, it's probably just a way of getting people in through stealth mechanisms. And you can imagine that they're training them based on the hostility of that one guy. They're probably training them to expect us. And, you know, saying a bunch of stuff like, I'm sure that they are making quite a bit of false accusations against us in terms of what we have done, in terms of what our motivations are. I'm quite sure that there's a bunch of crap like that going on. It's a front group, yeah. Like the Way to Happiness, exactly. And like the Narconon and all these different groups that try to act like they're slightly different than Scientology. And the volunteer minister thing is Chichicana, hello, good morning. It's like there is sorry, lost my train of thought. Brain fartage. So the ways they try to get people in are numerous, and they'll do anything. Yeah, Narcanon, other front groups, trying to act like they're doing good for society. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is the whole thing of these volunteer ministers, they make it like they send them in where there've been an earthquake, a natural disaster, whatever, and they give touch assists, okay? And Diane from Ventura, who'd never been a Scientologist, was asked to come and be a volunteer minister and start giving these touch assists, and she's like, I don't even know how to do it. Like, I read about a couple of them in your materials, but like, I don't know how to do a touch assist. And they're like, oh, they'll show you, no problem. So yeah, it's a very expert thing if you could just show up and you've never hardly done anything, and then right, okay, the volunteer minister course in a weekend. Well, the thing is, she could have told me that. She could have just said, hey, there's a volunteer minister course, go to Scientology.org and sign up for it, whatever. And I would have said, oh, thank you. How did you like doing the course? And I wouldn't have stopped there, obviously. I would have persisted with other modes of communication. Wow, we got balloons. You know that means mega festivities, mega hip hip hoorays are in store for us. Let's go see what those balloons are all about. Oh, aren't we getting close to Elron's birthday or something? Could it be something like that? Somebody mentioned it the other day in the comments, and I totally forgot what day it was. I should be more up to date on these things. I should know exactly when Elron was born. It should be etched into the folds of my cranium. Yeah, they did not. Well, that's the thing. If their volunteer minister thing means that they're not even really Scientologists, they did a weekend course, then they're probably not fully trained on all the intricacies of handling SPs. So can't blame them for that, right? I mean, it's an intricate procedure for how you handle a suppressive person, because, suppressive persons are out to destroy everything that is beautiful in the world, and the only saviors of mankind and therefore, I mean, what's worse than that? What's worse than a suppressive person? I can't imagine. But let's see the balloon people scramble as we get closer. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hide them balloons. Oh, yeah. You got to hide them balloons. There's SPs on the way. You don't want SPs getting all the advantages of looking at those balloons. Secret Scientological balloons. Not meant for viewing by SPs. Hide those balloons. You must hide them. Hide them very well. Yeah, take them into that dungeon. That's a good idea. The only question in Scientology is which dungeon. There's so many dungeons to choose from in Scientology that when they say take them to the dungeon, that's not a very clear command. Which dungeon? Do you mean the sub-level 3 dungeon? The sub-level 57 dungeon? Which one do you mean? Oh, Notice all the activity. Is that what day it is now? Dropped his body day? What a glorious day that was when L. Ron Hubbard of Rotting Teeth fame died in a trailer. And was found with psych meds in his blood. That must have been some SPs that injected him right before the autopsy, I'm sure, because that couldn't have happened otherwise. That would be mathematically impossible because he is the main opponent of all psych meds. So obviously, if there were any in his system, he was drugged. He didn't do it on purpose. That would be impossible. There's no way it could happen. Not even theoretically. So, the grand entrance area, looking a little less grand. And as we can see, Curtain Tech is in full force on 99% of the windows. Nothing going on there, nothing to see, ladies and gentlemen. Death, not even warmed over. Death warmed over would be a better look than this. This is death before it gets warmed over. This is kind of like room temperature death. But with a very depressing shade of blue, one of the worst shades of blue ever, in full force at Scientology. So here we go around. We got to get that, you know, every visit to Big Blue requires the shot that is coming up ahead. And let me guess, are we going to go into a musical zone here pretty soon when we come around this corner? Are they going to serenade us with that impeccable Scientology music? Let's hope. And here we have the most depressing hotel in LA, worthy of its own documentary. Yeah, they need crowd control for sure. I mean, you know, with all these people trying to get into Scientology, you know, it's really hard to keep it an orderly process because they just don't have enough people to collect all the checks from the parishioners. You know, they need those ecclesiastical leaders to go deposit checks. And how many people are getting goosebumps from the majesty of this site? Is that Tom Cruise up there waving? I don't know, because it's reflective glass. You wouldn't be able to see it if he was. So as the crowds gather, begging to be let into Scientology before the other ones, there's crowding, there's jostling. A lot of jostling for position here, as we can see. Unfortunately, it's all happening on the 27th dimension. So for most of us, it is not visible. But for those with Scientology superpowers, they are just navigating this throng of humanity. And, you know, eventually, my goal is to be able to see what they see. Because obviously, what they see is a glorious and majestic sight. The advanced Organization of Los Angeles. Can you imagine how advanced that organization is? I mean, that's not a basic level organization. That's a very advanced organization. And we need to give it the respect of its position because, you know, not every organization attains that level. You know, a lot of organizations get stuck down at the lower mediocre levels. But, you know, with this thriving situation that we have going on here, it's obvious that this is a very advanced organization. It says it in the name, so who can argue with that? Really? Be real. And so, back to our North Korean programming, we see depression level blue, that's the official name for it. We see a distinct lack of humanity, a distinct lack of both victims and perpetrators today. We do have control mechanisms. We do have a speaker set up to set off, here we go, find out the truth about drugs. Yeah, which drugs? Let's not label. I mean, it's almost like racism, right? When you just say drugs and you don't look at the individual drugs, okay? It's like labeling a group of people or something. You're labeling things as drugs. Well, which drugs are you talking about? The good ones, the bad ones, the intermediate ones, the super fun drugs? I mean, we got to make distinctions if we're going to talk about drugs. Because it's a very, very important topic that L. Ron Hubbard did a lot of research into. And we need to honor that research. Could you imagine doing acid with L. Ron Hubbard? If L. Ron Hubbard were alive, they could make a lot of money selling $1,000 lottery tickets, and the winner gets to do acid with L. Ron Hubbard. That would be an excellent idea. An idea that I would support wholeheartedly. And so I think, since L. Ron is not around, let's go talk to his little boy, Davey. So the idea that we're floating, Davey, is that we do a raffle to raise money for Scientology, where each ticket is $1,000. We sell like, I don't know, 10,000 tickets. And the winner gets to drop acid with David Miscavige. What do you think? Up and down for yes, side to side for no. Come on. Come on. A true Scientologist shouldn't have to think about it that long. Okay, a true Scientologist is brash and bold and beautiful and dauntless and defiant. And they can make quick decisions because they already know the answer before it is asked. That's one of the superpowers that we have come here to observe. One of the main superpowers of Scientology, as we can see right here, invisibility. I am surrounded by trillions of Scientologists right here, but you would never know it. Because, see, we are not on the level, the frequency level, and we do not have the finely tuned perception mechanisms in order to see these Scientologists who are able to create invisibility for us mere 3D mortals. And so you might think it looks empty here. No. That is a trick. That is one of the most spectacular tricks of L. Ron. Licking toads with L. Ron. Oh, hell yeah. Damn, could you imagine? Can you imagine just doing that deep dive into, yeah, if I had the right drugs, okay, so you guys need to buy me a lot of coffees so I can buy a lot of drugs so I can sample which drug brings me to the condition of being able to see L. Ron Hubbard. Okay, it's going to take a lot of research. It's going to take a lot of funding, but it's worth it, because once I can tune in to the vibration of L. Ron Hubbard and perceive him while still embodied, I can teach that skill to others. And we can have a golden age of Scientological enlightenment that will blow away all other golden ages of Scientological enlightenment and set a new standard of excellence within the Church of Scientology. Not that it's needed, but hey, since we live in an infinity of the messed universe, we must continue to strive in the direction that L. Ron pointed, to full superpowers. Because without full superpowers, we are just shadows of our true selves. Okay. Wherever I got that, I give it to you. So yes, in true North Korean style, nice buildings, no people. Imagine being in Scientology and you come and spend a couple weeks here and you've been told about this amazing place, this gathering place for Scientologists worldwide, on a street named after L. Ron Hubbard. Oh my God. For somebody who can't read emojis, that is a serious overload right there. But here we have blockage. And what is blockage other than interbulation? Somebody is getting interbulated in their parking attempt, and they had to just leave. How sad. Oh, no, swinging back around. See, the thing is, sometimes all of this security ends up blocking out the wrong people. It ends up blocking out the slaves and the goobers, the people who fervently believe in L. Ron and Davey Slavey Navy and things like that. And they believe so very fervently. Oh, there you go. See in the background, you can hear the music is starting. I think they can't do it on the other side of the street because the Self-Realization Fellowship is over there. So, but the thing is, oh, check it out. They just turned it on there too. I can hear it in the background. The thing is, I can drown out any music, and I can also mute things as I walk by. So if it mutes all of a sudden, that just means they blasted some music. And I pressed mute until I walked away. Don't leave me. It will just be a tactical retreat that will last mere moments. But, you know, when they do these things, these events where they come out and they try to bring normal people in, then we notice that a lot of tactics start getting used in order to shut us down. These tactics do not work very well, and they kind of are amusing even. And so, you know, we just make note of them, because there's no way that this music way in the background can make it through the drone of my voice. But also, there's no way that it can be seen as something that I am trying to rebroadcast as entertainment as I'm sitting here talking about it. This is the essence of fair use, because if you're critiquing or talking about the thing, and especially if you're doing so in a way that, you know, that removes all possibility of enjoyment of it, you know, then it's kind of hard to do anything. Okay, hold on 1 second. Stay with me for a second. I'm just going to blast through this area on mute. 1 second. No need, actually. It's turned down pretty damn low, and I don't really think they can do too much. And you know, a little blockage with the hand can do some of it, and a little droning over the sounds so that you can't even hardly hear them in the background. That could be a good thing to do as well. So that's what we're doing as we go past, and hopefully at some point we get to the level where they cannot blast it out at the whole neighborhood, because there will be more people having an issue with it than us. And so the good thing about this whole deal, though, is that this gives everybody the opportunity to experience Scientology music in its full glory. And that is a rare opportunity, because where are you going to go where that stuff exists? I mean, it's not like radio stations are playing it or any kind of other thing. So we're going to do a little bit now. But as soon as we get around real, actual, non-cult member type human beings, Scientology's really not going to want to piss off the rest of the neighborhood with this. Right, Scientology? I can't hear you. You know, this would be a much better usage of property if this could go back to being a hospital and actually help people, instead of sit mainly empty, 95% empty, and then the rest of it being filled with crooks and grifters and other such unsavory people. So here we go, back to the land of free food and Scientology superpowers. That Scientology music is really a joke. It's like, I don't know. Everything they do, you know, they have a TV network. And that TV network just apparently consists only of the propaganda that they put on their website and their YouTube channel. So And it's only DirecTV, I think. So there's a very limited number of people who are going to even have DirecTV compared to most people in the world. And there's also nobody that really wants to watch North Korean propaganda on a loop. Also, one thing different about us than Scientologists, we will say, please watch Scientology material. Please watch it. Right? They will not say the same about documentaries about Scientology going clear. They won't say that about Leah Remini's show. They won't say that about any of our stuff, any of our channels. They won't just say, yeah, watch them. Look at how goofy they are. Look at how stupid that shit is. Right? They won't do that. And but we will encourage everybody. Oh yeah, go on Scientology.org or com or what, I think it's org. Go on there. Watch everything. You're going to laugh your ass off. You are not going to be impressed. You are not going to become a Scientologist. You will notice that they don't tell you what Scientology is. All they do is just say, you know, they talk about amazing things and then say, we are for that. Do you like love? And do you like family? And is, you know, are children important? And whatever. That's what we're all about too. Yeah. It's like, no, dudes. That is totally not what you are about. You are about splitting up families. Right? Sea Org members, you are about splitting up families. You are about total mind control. You are a cancer on the nation. Luckily, a tiny little spot of cancer that is being regulated by the immune system of the nation, but a cancer nonetheless. And cancers always need to be watched because they spread. And this one, you know, it hasn't been doing too well in its spreadage, but, you know, they're trying quite a bit. They're definitely trying. And it's not working. So one of the things that they do every now and then, and it seems to be a little picking up the pace these days, is give out a little free food. That's the least they could do to appear to be more charitable than they actually are. Because the fact is they are barely charitable at all. Charity's not really what they're into. And so if they can make a little show of giving 50, $100 worth of food over the course of an entire day, then they will do that every now and then. And then they'll be like, we are very active in the community at giving out free food. And we are an essential part of this community. And blah, 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 blah. But no, they're not. They don't even bother to put the tents out now, because that might attract people realizing there is some food. Now, do they have the people waving cars down? That's what I want to see. Do they have that? Oh, look, they're playing more music over that way. Okay. They're really trying this music thing. But for me, if I get one of those copyright strikes, all I'm going to do is just make videos from home for the 10 days that they have to actually sue or go away, and then they won't sue, and the copyright strike will go away. So it's just lame shit. And then eventually what's going to happen is that everybody's going to get pissed at Scientology for making all the frivolous complaints to YouTube, and hopefully YouTube will be quicker at realizing the deal than the LAPD. But I don't think it's that the LAPD doesn't know what the deal is. It just seems that they don't care too much. But at least they did arrest one attacker last night. A little bit of progress, I guess. And I'm sure some of you saw the live stream of the whole crew that was down there. So yeah, I kind of I thought of joining them, but I was like, well, they probably don't need a whole other camera in there recording the same drama. But yeah, you know, at least there's one time that they actually record the they actually arrest the wrongdoer, and then they did not simultaneously arrest the victim. So good job. Good job, LAPD. Bravo on your performance last night. Big improvement over the usual. We're all proud of you. I went by the Hollywood Boulevard Testing Center before I came here. That was still completely shut down. I mean, we all go by regularly in order to just keep an eye. Every now and then, you know, they might sneak have the door open or something. And, you know, that could be problematic. We don't want that to happen. So let's go around and see if there are any other locations for Scientology Superpowers. We're on Sunset Boulevard. Off in the distance, you can see the Hollywood Hills. And it's always nice to look at palm trees at the beginning of February and realize, oh, this is winter. As a former New Yorker, I am still indulging in that pleasure, and it is awesome. So here we are at the Self-Realization Fellowship. Something I can relate to far more than Scientology. Not that I've ever been a part of that or anything, but hey, a little meditation can't hurt anybody. And I don't know if they are culty about it. I tend to not be into very many organizations because there's always rules where there are organizations, and some of them are the rules that I would want to break, because why not? We are here for our own enlightenment. So just wanted to give you a little view. There's the observatory, Griffith Observatory at the top. So anyway, as we look around, we see no evidence of any Scientological superpowers. So I looked up, because I was wondering, well, how do Scientologists actually get these superpowers? These superpowers that send them into neighboring hospitals, assuring people that they can be cured with the use of Scientology. Okay, so what are the things that Scientologists do to bring about these miracle cures? Oh, there's somebody. There's a van that honked at me, but that is not the DOA van, but it has a bunch of Scientology as a cult and stuff on there, so that's good. They're probably coming to join the festivities. The more the merrier. No competition in this land of, yep, they're turning down L. Ron Hubbard Way with their signs. Scientology's a cult and all that. Yay. They won't be able to park there, though. Only cultists are allowed to park on that exalted street. Oh, I love it. Just kind of hanging out, kind of slow rolling. Nice. Let everybody see you. I approve of this message. So, last week, I started talking a little bit about the Scientology training routines. Oh my God, there's a definitely alien looking dude in the ministries thing. So I did get it wrong in terms of not being updated on the way it works with the open eye gazing at each other. And what one of the commenters told me was that having to keep your eyes open for 2 hours is something that they quit doing in the 60s. So the book that I was reading, or the article, whatever, was written in the 60s, or it was talking about some stuff that happened in the 60s. So basically, Hubbard said the only way you can control people is to lie to them. Because the second you start telling anybody close to the truth, you start releasing him and he gets tougher and tougher to control. Interesting. There's a theory by L. Ron Hubbard for you. The only way you can control people is to lie to them. The fundamental lie of these training routines is that they are a communication course. And the second lie is that they improve your ability to communicate. Okay, so TR0, as it's written here, and I'm reading this in Secrets of Scientology, the TRs, on www.cs.cmu.edu, and then blah, blah, blah. Okay, sit with eyes closed for hours, not moving or twitching, confronting the coach. So I guess that means instead of staring each other down, now you just sit with your eyes closed, but you can't have any movements. Then the next one, sit with eyes open for hours, not moving or twitching, confronting coach. For the 2 TR drills, remember, this is what's going to give you superpowers, so listen up. The 2 TR0 drills, some hours without any reaction is a pass, 2 hours recommended. And so they call it confronting, but it's really just like being in their presence and not moving. Okay, interesting. Let me see where I can. Sorry I'm moving this around, but I got a lot of glare. I can't really read. Now we got a cloud. And now the messages went away until the next one comes in. Anybody feeling the spirit of subscribing and liking? That would be appreciated. No pressure, but you know, I'll just love you forever. That's all. It's all just positive reinforcement over here. So this person says the long hours of staring at a fixed object caused hallucinations in me. I didn't realize at the time that this was a sign of hypnosis. The sensory deprivation is incredible. You're working hard on not flunking. Flunking is if you move and you got to start all over from the beginning. The Scientology staff coach does a good job of flunking you for no apparent reason, creating all sorts of uncertainty and confusion. Oh yes, it will give you a lot of superpowers. Your breath won't stink. Your feet won't hear. Your feet won't hurt, and you will love Jesus more, unless you're Jewish. Then it's optional. Perhaps it was true. Thinking about what I felt and saw was causing the trouble. My cognition was that I should stop thinking about this situation, even though it was contrary to all my social conditioning.
Are you from the
What's that?
Are you from the church?
No.
Oh, okay. You're like protesting?
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'm trying to like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. How are you?
Good. And yourself? Yeah.
Very
Sorry
good.
to interrupt you, sorry.
No problem. Here, you can be interviewed. You can be the show now.
Oh, hi.
What's your YouTube name or TikTok or wherever you are?
I'm actually from East LA. My YouTuber, and well, I don't have a TikTok, but I have a YouTube channel, and it's
What's that channel?
Mercury channel.
What's that?
Mercury channel.
Mercury channel?
Mercury, yes.
Awesome. Cool. What got you into this?
I heard a lot of documentaries based on church. I came from a Christian background,
Right.
and I could kind of like relate, but in a way it's kind of like twisted because cult is something that you're following, and it's like a nonsense following.
Were you ever in any like Christian thing that was kind of culty, or were you just like in the Catholic Church or when? Not that is 0%, you know.
Yeah. I was in a way in a cult because my parents had me to want to marry the same belief.
Right.
And I felt kind of like.
But that's kind of every religion. They want you to marry somebody in your religion.
Yes. And.
Did you obey them?
No.
No. Okay, that's why you're here. You're one of those evildoers that doesn't obey the rules.
Well, I mean, it's common sense. It's not like you'd be doing drugs, doing cocaine. That's totally like not okay, And this one, it's just pretty much like.
What about mushrooms? Is that okay?
No.
No?
No, I tried it when I was 13, so.
Only one? Well, that's not when you do it.
Well, it depends, but yeah, talking about this Scientology church, I just felt that, like I said, I saw documentaries. There is this one documentary that I saw about, like, Tom Cruise, that he was totally brainwashed.
Right.
And, he has dyslexia. I cannot relate to him, but he kind of.
You relate to his level of stardom and everything?
In a way, yes, because I was brainwashed. I went
Right.
to that church. I
You went to Scientology?
Yeah, but I went to visit, so they had
Oh,
to
okay.
take the Q test, the IQ test.
Right.
And then they had me to film, to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Because you had to stay there for like 3 hours and so, and I was like I could felt that I was kind of like, I was interested, I was depressed and all that, and I thought that would help me. Until when they spoke to me about buying a book, right? I guess it's a book called R.L. Rosenstein. I'm sorry
I don't know. They have so many books, you know.
Yeah. So they had me purchase a book, right? And they wanted me to like, find a second job, or if they still want, like they were like forcing me. So there's one time that
Like make more money so you can give it to us.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. And I understand they're trying to hustle and everything, but like forcing.
No, don't believe that.
Yeah, and but at the same time, I noticed that like at the end of like 8 years passed, I saw a documentary based on the golden mace that they have it in South Korea. It's by San Bernardino, but they actually they were in prison, and they had them in bunk bed sleeping.
Right. Like the Sea Org.
Sea Org, yeah.
Yeah.
So they had it bunk bed sleeping, and it was like a rotten like prison. I guess they try and like, I guess they say if you're gay or something, they kind of like punish you that you're gay, or
they look at gay people as being very low on the tone scale.
Yeah, no, I and they also destroy your relationship with your family.
Yeah.
Connecting with family. They want you to be like robots.
They want you to only be surrounded by Scientologists. Like if your family doesn't want to join, maybe it's okay, but if they tell you to get out, then you got to disconnect. Yeah.
Exactly.
The last few days, my channel's Davey Mismanage, and the last I've done a bunch of things about the basic philosophies that make it that they lay down in the beginning. Like from the very beginning, they lay this thing down of like, there are bad people out there, right? Later on it becomes SPs, but it starts where they say 20% of people are antisocial personalities. But they don't know it, you don't know it, whatever, but one way you could tell who they are, you know what it is?
No.
They hate groups that are bringing betterment to mankind.
So basically they're competitive.
Basically what it means is like they're preparing you for everybody in your life getting on your ass for joining Scientology. So they're saying like, okay, put it this way, like if you had a brother that came and said, I just joined Scientology, I signed a $1 billion contract. Okay, you think of all the stuff that you would say to your brother, right? What they do is they train you from the beginning. If anybody says this kind of stuff to you, they're evil, you got to push them away. But really what they're doing is they're training you for anybody that doesn't like Scientology, right? They're brainwashing you, but they're preparing you for the whole thing, like you said, like splitting up families, right? They're preparing you from right in the beginning that, first of all, like, if you are a soul, you are this eternal being, right? So your family doesn't really matter that much because that's just your temporary family for this lifetime. These are just, some jokers that you just, you had to get born, you had to have a body, so you had to pick somebody, but they're not necessarily really connected to you, right? And so Scientology is really connected to, because they're your way out, that's your spiritual salvation, right? And so then they're training you like to kind of almost disconnect emotionally from your family from the beginning. Because like you're a soul, so what does that matter?
It's like a narcissistic people usually.
What's that?
Narcissistic people usually act that way.
Well, that's the thing. Scientology is like having an abusive relationship. That's totally what it's all the same shit. It's like, I don't like you going and hanging out with your mom so much, right? So they try to like, an abuser doesn't want you hanging with your family without them. They want to watch what's going on. They don't want you to have a spare moment to talk to somebody else, because then you might start talking about them and then realizing, oh, that's bullshit, you know, right? So they try to like,
They don't trust. Basically. They don't
no,
trust.
but then what they say is these evil people, one thing about them, they don't trust.
Yeah.
But everything that they say is like, it's really about them, but they say it's about other people.
You know, I saw this YouTuber, right? I don't even know who's Jessica and Chris.
Yeah,
Okay, so they're like the top ones that you see there. I don't see them. I don't really see them, but I see them on YouTube channel. They call the squirrel team.
yeah.
So what happened was
Squirrel
that,
Squad,
Squirrel Squad,
yeah, yeah.
So there are ones here like at 10 in the morning, and there are ones in the Hollywood, the East Side Hollywood, at 2 in the morning. So they have this white bus coming.
Yeah.
Pick them up, right? And all of a sudden, you could see them like turn off the lights all of a sudden.
Right.
You know? And I think one of them, they say they were like, oh, you know, I think Ali Streets was kind of mentioning about David, what's his name, last name, David
Miscavige.
He was just trying to, I guess, let them know straight out. Like he's very like a straight up person, you know, Ali Streets.
Yeah.
And then Jessica is just trying to like, I guess, you know, make fun of them. But I'm like, you know, I understand, you know, they're trying to, in my head, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to like get out of the cold. They're trying to help them, of course. But like, I feel like they should be a little bit like, let them figure it out. Like the people like Sebastian and other people that they were in. And, you know, I'm like, let them figure it out. And, you know,
Well, how are you going to do that?
well, we gotta have to, I mean, honestly, I have to be a little bit slow, you know, I have to be a little bit slow with them.
Yeah.
In a way, and then the time, you know, it's not your fault, you know, not like a little kid, you know, in a way, but it's like, you know, talking to a little
No,
kid,
but I
a
agree with
5-year-old,
you.
you
I
know.
agree with you, and I don't see like.
I was like, am I talking to a 5-year-old? No, it's, I think Tom Cruise would have talked like a 5-year-old, like, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's not your fault. You
Right.
know, but it's because you're in the system that is trying to control the environment.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the reason why.
The thing is, if you said that to them, that's not going to work any more than it. You know, if you say it's not your fault, it's like if you won the lottery and I said it's not your fault, and you'd be like, what do you mean I won the lottery? What about fault? What are you talking about fault? You know, right? They think they won the lottery. They think they found the best thing ever, you know? And so, you know what I tell them? One thing I've told them, people like Sebastian, I said, you know how much money you'd make if you were selling cars? Right? He didn't say anything. They don't say anything back.
They don't want
You're
to
just
admit.
planting seeds in their brain,
There's
you
this
know?
lady that, you know, I wish I could tell her that, you know, I'm a Christian, but I admit that the pastor was a rapist, you know?
Right.
You know, and she didn't admit that one of the Scientologists, you know, from her
Was also
crew
a rapist.
right?
Yeah.
So I was like, why is that lady not accepting? She's like, this is nonsense. You know, and Danny didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And he was telling one of the squirrel team, and she just got in the car, and she just cussed him out, like you're bullshit, yes. And I'm like, what? This is incredible. She's not. I'm like, what? This is.
The thing is, if they can't give one thing, they can't make one admission, or else the whole thing falls apart. It's like Jenga. Like if you pull one more out, it's done, right? You can't find one that's good. Like they're all gonna right? And that's the way Scientology is right now. They're almost dead. They only have like 25,000 people in the world.
I told them, you know, if you don't, I wish I could tell them, you know, if you don't repent your sins, chances are you're gonna be dead. You know, like you said.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like you got to get in their head and like plant a seed, but you can't think it's going to do anything today. It might take 5 years for it to germinate or whatever. But no, I mean, the thing is, everybody that I've met, or almost everybody that I met that's an ex-Scientologist, is very cool. They're smart. They're way smarter than like however long they went to school or whatever. You know, probably just because they had to look up everything in the dictionary. You know, like I never look anything up in the dictionary, you know. So, I mean, you know, so they have a vocabulary, whatever, you know, but they've had to deal with a lot of bullshit. So once they get out and they go through the process of reclaiming their minds, you know, then let's see what everybody's saying. It's so bright here. I can't even see the damn screen. Sorry, you guys, when I'm not. But, you know, I'm interviewing here. Sorry, what's your first name again?
Karen.
Karen?
Karen, yeah.
Oh, man, you can't go around with that. You got to change that. You don't act like a Karen at all.
I know.
I bet you can at times, though.
Yeah, I'm like...
Piss her off enough, man.
I was like, are you trying my word in vain? I'm just playing. This is weird. This is a weird...
I mean, those short girls, when they get mad, you know, they get vicious.
I feel like that's pretty common. You know, I guess, you know, it's common, so I just thought it was common, but I guess... I don't know.
So are you here to audition for Tom Cruise's fourth wife?
Oh, you know, they say that she was missing. His ex-wife, the other wife that he had.
Which one?
I don't know her name, but she...
Katie,
I think, but she was blonde, and she went missing for years, and
she didn't go missing. No.
They said she was private, and
She was just being private. She was just like, I mean, whatever she signed with Tom Cruise was like, do not talk, do not embarrass me, do not whatever, you know. So she just didn't say anything because she probably got $100 million check, man. You know.
You know what burns me a little bit about Tom Cruise? I was like, you know what? Something about him. She went private. Like something about him. She went private or missing, whatever. And whatever. Like they applaud him, right? That he was like the true believer of the church, right?
Right.
At the top. And so David was like, oh, you know, like, welcome, you know, they were just talking to him and stuff like that, right? And then something about him made me think that when I see his other, you know, interviewing him and you know, he was kind of like telling him like, you know, kind of getting mad because he was asking him questions. You know how paparazzis are, they ask him questions,
right?
They kind of like, you know, mad and private stuff, and I'm like, whatever, right? But he was not a paparazzi. He was like a, you know, sitting him, talking to him. You know, he's not really down to earth. And he's not letting him like thinking, like going with the flow. He's just like, you know, let me speak. You know, like he's like, you know, kind of like getting. And my thing is, why you're thinking about him just because he's an actor? He's a billionaire, right? He's making a lot of money. And he's known by a lot of people, but he's, according to him, he's loved by his, you know, church, right? And it's fine. I understand that he's too vulnerable, you know, he's too vulnerable, and then I guess he felt kind of vulnerable towards the church, and I'm like, you know what? I think they don't know who he is. You know, they don't know who he is.
He doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he just thinks he's this badass that's going to save the universe.
Ego. That's what it is.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, look, Scientology gets you at your lowest point, and then they love bomb you, right? Just like a narcissist. You ever had a relationship with a narcissist, right? They find your weakness, then they love bomb you, they tell you you're great. Then once they got you in, now they start messing with you, right? They start attacking you, and they start conditioning you. And they use your neediness against you. They're like anything you do they don't like, they're like, okay, well then we'll just break up. And then they're like, no, I'm sorry, you know.
They like the apology. I noticed that.
They won't apologize, but they'll make you apologize.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? This is Tom Cruise. This is the one that you're praising, Tom Cruise. This is the one that you're you're like, oh, he's cool, but you guys don't know the dark side about him.
Well, I mean, like, look, if you take just the rules of, this is why they can't talk to you, right? Because if you just take the rules of Scientology and then you use those rules on Scientology, okay, for example, Scientology says you create everything in your life, you pulled it in, right? If you have an accident, you pulled it in, you made that happen, okay? Then if you say to Scientology, well then how did you pull me in to come here filming and doing this stuff? Then they're just like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, right? They can't just say, well, here's what we did wrong and we pulled you in, right? And so now we're learning and we're using that data to like figure our shit out better, you know. No,
exactly, you got a point,
right? So,
exactly.
you know, if you just use, the thing they hate the most is if you use Scientology ideas and say, well, how's that working? Well, how's that? Like the OT levels, you know, they're supposed to go to 15. They only go to 8. Okay, you know what you find out at OT 8 after you spent like $3 million? You know what your final revelation is? It's the worst thing ever. You're going to love it. No, that's OT3. When you get to OT8, what you learn is that all that shit that we did before, all the past lives that we did healing on and whatever, that wasn't you. That was those alien spirits that are inhabiting your body, the body thetans. So at the end of OT8, they say, now you know who you're not, so now you can start finding out who you are. But then there's no OT9 to find out who you are, so you're screwed.
Honestly, that makes me laugh.
Oh, you got a message that they love your glasses.
Oh, thank you.
Chichicana loves your glasses.
I just like, yeah, thank you guys.
You're getting appreciation for your fashion sense, you know.
I got my 7-Eleven coffee.
Well, it doesn't get more fashionable than that, you know.
It's just too good.
So, how far do you come for this? I mean, don't tell me your actual area, whatever, but, you know.
No, it's just like 2 miles. I just got public transportation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just heading, just walking and just trying to, look around here and just say hi. And then at the end, I just like low key, like, no, I just don't want to get too much into this.
Well, yeah, there's.
Yeah.
So, which locations have you been to so far?
I've been the one in Orange County, Pasadena, East Hollywood, which that was.
And you've done videos from all of them?
No.
Really? You just go there and hang out?
Oh no! What happened was that I went here when I was 17. I was depressed.
You went as a
When was it?
as a victim. I get it. Right.
Exactly. And what happened was that I went there and they had me, and I trusted them. I thought that, they might help me. And I was I was Christian still, but I was
Yeah.
not.
But you see this cross, so they bullshit you with that. Yeah.
Yes. At the end, I knew it was a BS. To be honest, I just thought that, they're probably might help me. My IQ or my ability to.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
Environment.
That's what they said they do, so you just thought they're probably not totally bullshitting. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good salespeople.
Like you said, they're smart.
That's why I said they could sell cars and make fortune.
I look dumb. Literally, I was really
I
dumb.
told like Sebastian or one of those guys, I'm like, if you could sell this shit to anybody, you could sell cars to everybody.
Yeah, you got them on spot, but they just don't listen. They're just like robots.
Well, because the whole thing is like
Angel, Angel's security guard.
Yeah.
He was like, you're saying negative stuff, and then he was just burning about David Manny, the one from the 70s show. He's like, he just raped. They can rape just quiet like.
Yeah, totally.
got him thinking.
Yeah.
And he was just like looking at him like, don't say like, okay, I know you're right, but just work.
Well, the thing is, see, they get punished for anything they do wrong, okay? And they're always trying to make sure they don't get punished. So the best way to not get punished is just to have no expression on your face, don't look at them, whatever. Because if you engage in a conversation, you're probably going to get punished for doing something wrong. Because in Scientology, remember, if you do Scientology correctly, it always works. So if your shit isn't working, it means you're not doing Scientology correctly. So then they got to find out, why are you not doing it correctly? And the main reason you're not doing it correctly, either you're an SP secretly, you know, you're having doubts or whatever, or you're connected to somebody like that. Maybe you don't even know it. So it becomes a witch hunt, right? It becomes like, we got to find the witch. We got to find the SP.
Oh, so basically they're gonna put me as like, oh, you know, she's one of the, again.
Well, they'll put you on the E-meter, the cans. Huh?
I'm sorry, the cans? Like they put you inside the can?
No.
I was like, what's
No,
going
those things that you hold when you do the Scientology.
on? Oh.
You never did that?
No, honestly, no.
Oh, you only took the test and
I took
stuff,
the
but
test,
you didn't
yeah,
do.
yeah, I
So
did.
when you do Scientology, it's like a lie detector test, right? And you hold these two metal cylinders. They call it the cans.
Oh, okay. So,
And it like if you get upset, the needle on the machine will move.
did the Tom Cruise did that with the machine?
Oh yeah, that's what Scientology does for everything.
Oh, makes sense.
All of Scientology is like just one lie detector test after the other. It's just interrogations, right? So what they would do probably, now I'm just spitballing here, okay? I haven't been a Scientologist, but they would say, okay, let's say there's an SP in your life, right? And so you're holding the cans and they're measuring the thing, and then they're like, okay, just slowly start naming everybody in your life. And then you say one person, it's like, whoop, and they're like, oh, what's up with that person? You know, maybe that's the SP,
I feel
right?
Like Albert, and not even Albert Einstein did that.
Not even who?
Albert Einstein?
Einstein? Yeah.
Einstein,
No.
yeah.
Einstein.
He was
Hopefully
really nice.
Einstein didn't do any Scientology.
He was really nice.
That would mess up my view of Einstein if you found out he was doing Scientology.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah, no, but so, and the thing is, see, they're all really afraid of having things found out in their interrogation. And so they like, you know, they just rather not have anything happen, because then there's nothing to talk about, right? But they could even say like, oh, you look upset today. What was it? And then you're like, I don't know, blah, 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 you know. And then you name everything that happened during the day. And then you say, oh, those SPs were yelling something about Xenu. Beep. And they're like, oh, you got interpolated by that. So, you know, like if you see a Scientologist going in to have a session, if you say something that gets under their skin and it pisses them off or makes them start having doubts or like anything like that, when they start the session, they got to find out like if they're at a normal state, and they read the machine. And if they're upset, they got to clear the upset before they can even begin with their normal session. So that means if you say the right thing to a Scientologist before they go in a session, they could have to pay $200, $300, $400 extra just having to clear the shit you told them before they get onto their actual work. Which is a good way to make them pissed off at Scientology, because then they're like, man, I can't afford this shit. You know, this is getting too much. I'm not even getting anywhere. Every time I get there, somebody says Xenu, and I got to spend $300 clearing my upset.
Literally. Yeah. No. Yeah. Like I said, like, honestly, I'm very vulnerable, but at the same time.
You're horrible?
No, vulnerable. Like, not horrible.
I thought you were horrible when I first saw you, but then,
well,
then you seem less.
When I was 17. Yeah,
Oh, well, you're supposed to be when you're 17.
You're supposed to be. Yeah.
That's your job when you're 17.
Well, yeah, because you're going through shit, but.
Well, it's the last chance to, to not get arrested as an adult, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to go for it. 17's like last call for alcohol.
Literally, right?
Yeah. If I would have known what I know now, be breaking the law. No.
Sometimes, instructions is like, it's like, common sense, but like, don't talk to this person, or she's a bitch, or he's an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, like me, like
Hey, look, Church of Scientology, yay! Hello, we love you, Any words on interbulation? All of a sudden, a COVID mask is necessary. Are you ashamed of your affiliation? Oh, don't be pretending like you speak Spanish.
I'm sorry? I speak Spanish.
You teach Spanish?
No,
you speak it, yeah.
I'm bilingual, but
yeah. What kind of Spanish do you speak?
Hispanic, like not really Salvadorian, not even a Cuban, but I'm actually a Mexican, so Hispanic, Latino. Yeah.
What area of Mexico is your family from?
State of Chihuahua.
Okay.
It's like by Paso, almost by Texas, Arizona.
Right,
so,
yeah.
It's not that far.
No.
Honestly, no.
All right, personality test.
How did it go?
I took it, but I failed.
No,
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm horrible. Horrible. Yeah. They had me to get in. I'm like, nope, I can't. Sorry. Well, I didn't say that, but until now. Have a nice day, and don't go inside. Amen.
There's this guy.
They're lost sheep, There's lost sheep. They're lost. Yeah.
There's this new comedian who's from Spain, but he lived in Belgium his whole life. He was on the show Kill Tony, and he did that. He said I took a personality test and I failed. No, it's a joke. It's like oh yeah, I don't even have a personality. Right. So, but
No, I guess the reason why I was horrible because I always tell them, I have issues like depression, or sometimes I get upsetting, and they see me as weakness, they take me as weakness, and they call me, you know what they call me after? Okay, sweetie, well, if you wanna go in the 305 room, we have a little short film. They call me sweetie, and I'm like, you serious? You know what that? I was like, wait. Too much warm.
getting you ready for Danny.
Yeah. Que tengan buen día. Or good afternoon. Yeah. Hopefully you have a nice day.
I mean,
And that's when I'm like, okay, so that means something. That means that they like me. They want to take my weakness.
Right. They want you to feel loved and part of the thing. They want you to feel like this is a place where people love you. This is the place, this is your new home or whatever.
Like the devil's telling me, this is your new home. Or
right.
This is what it feels like. And then I'm like, wait.
So why'd you go to all the different ones that you mentioned? You said you went to Orange County and
yeah.
Did you take the same test there or what'd you do there?
Oh, I just wanted to see how much is this is the book, right? I was just reading. I was still in my mode thinking, probably because I guess I got in a fight with a friend of mine, and then I had a boyfriend during that time, and he made me feel like shit. So I had to, go in there. And I thought that, like a dumbass, like I didn't, know that, that they will, abandon me or anything. So I feel love, like you said, we're welcome. And they were talking to me, like I was just feeling part of it, but at the same time, I didn't want to be there. So I was like, at the same time, getting my gut feeling because I had to go. And then I found out, 8 years later, this documentary about like they had a gold base in Sun Valley. Was it in Sun Valley? Sorry.
It's Hemet. It's like Riverside County, I think.
Oh, Riverside. But that's how I found out, and they were, just connecting with their families, and I became a believer of Christ again, and a lot of shit happened, but I just don't want to get into much, religion, being religious. I just want to get into spiritual being,
Yeah.
Spiritual being helps me to feel free, that helps
Yeah,
me to,
totally.
like, hang out with family, friends, feeling loved, and,
Right.
and
You want to
just,
walk a little down here?
yeah, of course.
Just walk along the side. I'm just like avoiding their music as much as possible, because they've been giving copyright strikes.
Oh, I see.
He really must. Whatever. Oh, sorry, you guys. I've been in a conversation, as you've seen, obviously, and also a very glary zone. So I'm coming into some shade now. Let's see. Oh, and all the comments went away. Yeah, these comments come on and then they just disappear.
You want me
And
to, I'm trying to get going a little. I like being here.
what's that?
And I like to be curious about here. I'm just like a little curious.
About what?
Oh, about just hanging in there.
Yeah. It's which area are you most curious about?
Any area. I'm just trying to see. I mean, here most of the time because I'm mostly in the west side area. So
Oh, so you want to check out other locations?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go to another location right after that. I won't say it on here,
Oh.
but if you want to come along, you definitely can and do some filming there. I don't want to tip them off on the next target, but there will be a next target for sure. There will be a next target because we're not done with these people.
No, we're not.
They
the scroll team comes at almost 2 in the morning and
Yeah. I mean, I don't do the 2 a.m. shift. I do earlier shifts myself. But sometimes I'm watching it at home at 2 a.m. I gotta admit.
Yeah, I will leave in a minute because my battery's dying. So yeah, and I don't have a portable charger. So.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Hey, you guys, anybody that hasn't subscribed and liked, if you feel called to by the spirit of Xenu, please do.
Oh yeah, they had.
And I think I will depart you guys now and go on to the next location. Stay tuned. There will be more. Thank you so much for watching, and catch up to you real soon. Bye-bye.